Hello, today we got to play Dice Manor. Now, this game is about rolling some dice. But before
building a manor.
And building a manor. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell because board games are amazing, and that's what we do here at Legends of Nirvana. Now, Randy, can you tell us a little bit more about Dice Manor?
I can. It's a 2023 release. The overall rank on Board Game Geek is 7,006. It's rated currently on Board Game Geek at 6.9. 2 to 4 player game, ages 14 and up. I don't know that you necessarily have to be 14. It doesn't seem like it's that advanced of a game. Plays in 30 to 45 minutes. That's probably about right. It depends on how much experience you've got playing it, I think. Designed by Garrett Herter. Art by Damian Mamaliti. Published by Arcane Wonders. It's got an MSRP of $49.99. It's on Card House website for $35.99. Noble Knight has it for $30. And Rob did some digging and found it on eBay and the Geek Market for $20. So you can get a pretty decent price.
All right, yeah, so let's talk about quality components. So every player has a set of dice, and there is a 4-player maximum to this game. Then you do get this wonderful inlaid scoring board, which is totally fantastic.
As long as you don't have a tie for score, because then you have to stack them, and they don't stack real well.
Yeah, well, the goal is to win. The goal is to win, right? And then you have some houses, and it's not like your standard house. It actually has a little door.
Like bird houses.
Yeah, little bird houses. Then you do have some cardboard chits. Then you have your cardboard tiles, which are glossy, no linen finish, but they're pretty good thickness, so I'm not really concerned about wear and tear on them. Yeah, so, and you get your wonderful cheat sheets, which Randy was keeping from us.
You didn't need them.
All right, so overall, I think it's really nice. I'm probably going to give this a 6.5. I think it's good.
Yeah, I'll probably go 7 just because it does have the inlay board. It fits nice. And also the storage for this in the box is perfect for all the pieces. Now, if you ever had expansions, it's going to have to be another box. But it perfectly fits all the tiles exactly where they need to be, all the dice. It's well-made inlaid storage.
Okay, cool. All right, so now let's move on to the actual theme. So the theme is you're building a manor. And you're trying to eventually sell your manor, and you need, points of interest to show your guests.
Not only that, your company is called Mundane Manors, and you're tired of building standard mundane manors, so you decide to build a crazy manor, almost a la Castles of Mad King Ludwig style.
Yes, because there's some pretty interesting things going up in this house. But, overall, it's cute. It's very Castles of Mad King Ludwig-esque in the fact that you're building this crazy manor and the art inside. I will say it's a lot easier to see what's inside the house versus Castles of Mad King Ludwig.
But the attraction is it doesn't have the names of the rooms, which is always fun when you're playing Castles of Mad King Ludwig, is you're building the dungeon next to the bedroom, which is next to the the pumpkin patch.
Well, I have this space theme art exhibit in one of mine.
Yeah.
But it would be nice to actually know what it was.
Yeah, I wish they would put names on the rooms.
Yep. But overall, the theme, I will say I like it because the art's a little bit more bright compared to Castles. And so for that, I greatly appreciate because you can actually see the art. And I think the art is really done really well. So for me, I'm probably going to give it a 7 on theme. I think it's good.
Yeah. And I think 7's fair. I think it's it is a fun theme. The art is well done on the tiles, and it's fun just looking and seeing all the details and trying to, I'm sure there's things you miss every time you play.
Absolutely. All right, so now let's move on to the rule book. So Randy, of course, read the rule book.
It's a 16-page rule book. Nice cover, matches the box, and the back is clear. The contents, they have all the pictures of all the components, which is really nice. How to set up is very clear. Big pictures for that as well. The cheat sheet is phenomenal. It has everything you need for the phases of the round, the scoring for each round, and during game scoring, and into phase scoring, and into game scoring, all in there. So it does pretty much everything you need from a cheat sheet. The there was really no confusion except for just remembering the Manor tours, because the Manor tours you score twice. You score when you actually play the dice, and then you score at the end, and you get a point for each die in your Manor. So just remembering that. But that's the only thing that wasn't clear. It's really clear, but it wasn't bad. I will say this does a pretty phenomenal job with keeping it short, and it's simple to understand. I'll give it a probably 8 on this.
All right, so let's move on to the actual game pace. So if I was actually first player, I would have all of my dice, except for 2 dice that are actually going to be up here, and then I'm going to have to earn throughout the portion of the game. So I'm going to... One ran away from me. All right, so I'm going to roll my dice. I'm going to group them by numbers. So I have 3 5s, 2 2s, a 6, and a 3. Now, I've got a couple of options with my dice. First, I'm going to pick one number, okay? Now, if I were to want to modify any of these dice, I do, at the start of the game, get 2 of these tokens where I can +1, -1. So now's the time that I would do that. So
or you can reroll.
Yeah, so I may want to change the 6 into a 5, for example. That way I have 4 5s. Maybe I don't. All right, so I'm going to take these 3 5s, and I've got a couple of choices. So I can bid on the 5 room, which is currently available, which is a 2-room combo with a 5 blue room and a 1 yellow room, both of which are dining. And these matter because you get points for every set that you get of each... set of icons, which is like the dining room, the library, the key room, the water droplet. So you get points for that, but then you also get points for majority and color. So you're kind of having to figure out what you actually want to bid on to put into your manor. Now, the other thing I could do is if I had 5s that I could put throughout the board, I could do that. The only 5 I have at the start of my house is actually this question mark at the center. So that doesn't seem like a good idea for me. The last thing I could do, which I didn't do the whole game, which probably was a problem, is I actually did some advertising. All right. So you can put any amount of dice in the advertising, but for each dice you put in, one of your dice get closer to your house. And when that dice gets closer to the house, when it passes, you get that dice to be able to continue to roll later on. And then depending on what place that you get either to move up 2 for the house, 1 for the house, or just get a token. Now, I've put in first, but that doesn't mean I will get first place. So Randy over here could get 3 6s, put that up there and bump me to second. Or someone could end up with just, 2 6s and maybe take second or something like that. Or someone can do 4 5s. So you can have either bigger number or more quantity of dice.
And you can add, it's not just all in one roll. So I could put 2 6s down and then later on get another 6 and add it, and then I would move up.
Right. So that was a little more important than I think I realized in the gameplay. But that's pretty much the scenario. So after I do that one thing, Randy's going to roll. He's going to do his choice, and then Mom over here would roll and do her choice, and then I would roll my dice again and do one more number. We would keep going around until there were no more dice for everybody, and if you ran a dice for everyone else, well, then you just got skipped because you don't have any dice.
Well, there's one other option, which is you can give a tour of your home. So on your turn, the first round, all you will have is one room, which has a question mark where you can apply any die. So giving a tour is less important early in the game, but as you build out your mansion, you're going to could potentially score a lot of points. So I roll my dice. Oh, look, I got 6 2s. So with 6 2s, I could put them all in here, but that would be kind of a waste because that's overkill for this. I could go to advertising and I would get my dial immediately upon the end of the round. But the other option is if I did have a mansion developed and I had lots of 2s adjacent to one another, I could plop all those 2s down into the mansion. And you can split it up and do some of your 2s. So I could take 1 2 and apply it here and take the other 5 and apply it to my mansion. And you get victory points based upon how many dice you place at once in your room, in your mansion. So I would get 9 victory points for 5 dice. And then, or actually it's more than that. I think it's 11. Yeah, it's 11. For 4 dice, it's 9.
Yeah, 4 is your sweet spot. That's your most per die victory point sweet spot. All right, so that's essentially the game. You play how many rounds?
You play 4 rounds, and then there's a 5th round, but the 5th round is a mandatory tour, and that's all you can do on your turn. Is basically you're trying to apply all your dice into your mansion, and you have to start at the entrance foyer and go through your house, connecting to connected rooms by rolling the dice and playing a single number.
Yeah, so it's well, not a single number.
Well, it's a single number in each roll,
but it can be multiple dice. So that's the key thing. So variety is good, right? Because you never know what you're going to roll. But at the same time, the more of the same numbers you have, you can get more points during the actual gameplay. So overall, I actually really enjoyed this. I think Mom did too. It was a lot of fun. Yeah. I enjoyed it. If anything, it was like, that's it? We're at the end? Like, what a bummer.
I will say, Rob and I played this at 2 players. I don't think I would recommend it at 2 players. As a matter of fact, this is already a released game, and the manufacturer sent us a copy for review. After we played it, we received an email with additional rules that they were adding for 2 players. So I think they felt the same way, that the 2-player was lacking in the rules that are in the book. So they were still modifying the rules for 2-player. But it's not in the book, and they've already released this to retail. So you'd have to adjust to whatever the latest iteration of the rules are from online.
But I will say, this is great at 3 and 4
It's great
players.
at 3 and 4, yes.
Absolutely, 100%. I don't think the tension would be there for 2 players that is needed to make this. And I honestly think it would be best at 4. Because we had a little competition, but I think it would have been great at 4. Yeah. So, overall, I had a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. So did Mom. I'm probably going to give this a 7.5. I had a blast.
Yeah, I'm probably right there with you at 7.5 at 3 or 4 player. If I'm playing a 2-player, I'm probably more at a 6.5. But I think at 3 to 4 players is the sweet spot, and it's a lot of fun. The competition, while there is competition for things, it doesn't feel like
it doesn't hurt.
It's not painful. So you're going to get a consolation prize of a token for plus or minus token or a reroll in any situation if you don't get what you're after. But there's a lot of options on where you can apply your dice, so you can potentially score more points somewhere else. So I don't feel like it's that brutal.
No, I don't feel that way at all. So 4-player might build some of that tension. Mm-hmm. So if you don't like quite a lot of attention, maybe keeping it 3. But overall, though, I still had a blast. I mean, it was fun.
Yeah,
it was fun. I definitely think we'll be playing this again. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We had a great time. Hopefully, you'll come hang out with us again. We'll get you guys later.
Bye.